Hello, Dean. This is Thursday night. It was about 9 o'clock or so, and I realized that tomorrow I have a day off, 3-day weekend, and I know you're going to start some sourdoughs this weekend, so I thought, well, maybe I'll make a series of videos to show you a variety of sourdough production and whatnot. And we'll start with the very basic, the setting of your sourdough the night before. Well, the night before or in the morning. So what I've done, I've gone into the fridge and I've pulled out my starter. Now my starter, as you remember, I like the 1 quart mayonnaise jar. This is a plastic mayonnaise jar with a plastic lid. You can see through it. You can see how the healthier your sourdough is doing. It's about half full, approximately 2 cups, what I basically like. I've gotten together both right here a 2-cup measuring cup for water, measuring cup for flour, and good basic flour to use for your sourdough starter is just unbleached all-purpose flour. And then, of course, a plastic bowl. Plastic or ceramic is best. There are some that will argue that any kind of a steel bowl can add some harm to your starter. I don't know the reality of that, but so be it. That's the way I buy into it. So I'm going to rig up this camera to look down on the whole process. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, Dean, I've rigged this the camera up overhead here next to the sink with a clamp thingy. It's either going to work pretty good or it's going to fail miserably. And we'll see. So, anyhow, you take your starter, and as you see, there can be some water on top. Don't worry about that. It'll just get stirred back in. It's known as the hooch, and it's quite fine. It just separates as it sits in the fridge. If it's black and it's fuzzy, or it just doesn't look good, or has a horribly smell to it, you'll get familiar with the smell of your sourdough. Discard that, and you can do some research and find out what is bad sourdough. But I've never had a sourdough go bad. So go ahead and just get it in there. Get it in your bowl. Leave a little bit in your jar. I don't know if you can see in there, but I leave a little bit in there before I put it back in the fridge, and I wash this thing out every few times, every few weeks or so, and it's fine. What I've done is that little bit that's in there is if for some reason you make a really bad mistake on your sourdough before you can get a starter back in the fridge, you've got a little bit left in here that can wind up being your starter. So I'll put that back in the fridge. So now that's back in the fridge. The important things. Okay, now one thing I came across here half a year or so ago was to add the water first. Remember your basic recipe, basic starter to get it going for pancakes. You start off with 2 cups of water, and I use room temperature water. No warmer than maybe 90 degrees or so. You don't want to kill the bacteria, the living organisms in your sourdough. But what I ran across a while back was to add your water first. I don't think it's necessary. I used to always just add the water and the flour all at the same time and stir it up and let it go. But someone pointed out that if you put the water in first, it gets your wild yeasts evenly distributed. And you just stir that up. Oh, it's still in the flour. Looking at the screen, the picture looks fine by the way I'm looking at it, but I'm sure when I upload this it'll actually be an upside down picture. So you just stir that up. And at the same time as you're stirring it, you're also, remember, your yeast, your sourdough is a living organism, and so you're adding oxygen, helping it breathe. So when it's going to because when you feed it the flour, that's its food, and the oxygen is going to do nothing more than to give it some oxygen to breathe. So that looks pretty good. I've incorporated the water and the flour together. So now I'll take my 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, And this isn't rocket science, so you don't have to be exact. There's 1, see, 2, and about a half or so. A little more doesn't hurt. It just makes it a little bit thicker. It'll be fine. And for the setting process, we're almost done. All we need to do now is just get this good and stirred up. I was watching the Mariners game, but it's going into the 9th inning. First game of the Angels series, and I see that the Morrow started today. He didn't have too good of an out. He started off pretty good up until about the 3rd inning or so, and then he started to lose his pitch, and they figured him out. And I see right now it's like 7-2 or something like that. Am I still in view? Yep. So now you can see that the water and the flour and the starter are all getting good and incorporated. So just stir it up. You don't have to get it super duper stirred up. Your sourdough will eat up all the lumps. But at the same time, I'm also adding flour to, or air to it. That looks pretty good. So now, just stir down the sides, because remember, this is basically just flour and water. You let that stuff dry on there, and it gets to be as tough to clean as wallpaper paste. So now, just go ahead and. So now, about the only thing we have to do, get yourself some. I use Saran wrap. But I've also used in the past a good clean dry towel, because the whole idea is just to keep dust and bugs from settling in overnight or for the next 12 hours or so. I just cover it loosely, nothing tighter than that. Don't seal it up. You want it to breathe. And this is going to double over the next 12 hours or so. And so what I'm going to do is, let's see if I can unclamp this at the same time. So there's the sourdough. Loosely covered. Like I said, you can use a good clean towel too, and just put it somewhere. I like to use the top of the fridge, only because it's out of the way. It's a good consistent heat out there. I know that things won't get into it. So now I just let that sit. And that is the first installment of sourdough. So good luck, and I'll get back tomorrow in about 12 hours when I go to make pancakes. See you later, and good luck. Goodbye.